So Kelly, would you be ready to come and talk to us more about this amazing time that we're in?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. You have set the tone beautifully. Thank you, dear.
Thank you.
And the planets completely support and validate everything she said. Hello, everyone, and happy solstice. This is a magical time. We are unbelievably supported as we go into this new year. And there are some things that I want to cover about just where we are now in this basic season, and can kind of piggyback on some of what Shanta said, especially with the 12 Holy Nights and going forward, for the remaining part of December, beginning part of January. Because it is, even astrologically, after January 7th, I recommend all systems go. Anything that is ready to launch, January, February is the first 2 months of the year where all planets are direct, forward motion after a very long year in 2018. So this season is where we surrender the last year and technically initiate the new year. So it's a seed time, and we're in a void of sorts, which is comfortable for some and uncomfortable for others. So just to be mindful, if you're in the northern hemisphere, I should say, southern hemisphere is working with its maximum light, but it is about to start rescinding for them. So we honor the transition of light throughout the year, and this is another validation of how it's tied to our body and our systems and how we function and how we can function at higher levels. Even now, when the frequencies have been amped up or there's more energy or systems buzzing around at the same time. And it does come down to us being personally, individually responsible for maintaining our light body or that protective shield or that part of us that radiates the light out and absorbs light in. And so working with light is always going to be something that our bodies respond to, and our minds and our hearts, of course. And the more I learn about the body, the more you find out that our actual bodies are just shooting light around our whole system. And so if we can co-create with that and use it for what it's good for, it's really powerful. And this season in particular, as we close 2018, which was a year of lots of endings and deaths and transition and completions of great magnitude, personally and globally, collectively. And there is no going back. And we used to talk about bridges a lot more. I think I might have to bring that back. But we've kind of crossed over a bridge that has disintegrated behind us. And not because anything bad is there or things are blowing up or we're running away or anything. It's just there's nothing left to go back that way. We are totally forward motion now. And it is my greatest wish that we can all renew our individual vitality and connection to our own hearts so that this year that best supports this expansion of our faith and what we believe to be true and possible, and is a big year for big miracles, I should say. It is a year of big miracles. And there's a light and shadow side to that, let's just say. So I want to use this time where we have the longest night and we withdraw in a certain way to replenish ourselves and to do what I would say, call in your counsel, whether it's the counsel of grandmother or your counsel of elders, your ancestors, angels, animal spirit guides. This is the time to consult, to clarify what is truly done and ready to be, released, and we're not going to even look back, and what we're moving toward so that you're clear about the clean slate that you're initiating and what you're actually responsible for. Because 2018 in particular, part of it, death and endings and completions, had a lot to do with our individual desires, what we really wanted out of life, as well as the relationships that we have contracted or obligated ourselves to or agreed to certain terms for a certain amount of time. A lot of those time limits are all up. So we completed our mission with a lot of partnerships and collaborations and things that is freeing up energy that we maybe haven't had in 1, 2, 3, 6, 9, 12. It could be years since you've had access to this energy, but it is coming back around in a way that supports an expansion of the vision. And part of the cleansing that we've done and the purification that we've just been through, I think, is truly to set us up for this brilliant year of an expansion of our faith in terms of what is actually possible. It's not going to be possible if we're dragging old baggage with us. It's not going to be possible if we can't lighten up. That was another way I want to just validate what Shanta was saying. If we can embody more light and process it better and hold on to it longer and be that little charger battery for it in our own unique ways, it can help ourselves and it can help others that have to tap in every now and then because they're low, because we are the ones who have agreed to hold the light and to remind people that this is where progress is made. And we are so supported for that in other ways. There's many cycles that have completed and converged and led us to a tipping point is what I would say. And we've tipped the scales in favor of our healing. And so we can all call that in for the new year, absolutely. If you wanted to do reflections on real cycles, the last time Jupiter was in Sagittarius was 2007. And so this is a similar zone that we're in. 2006 was Jupiter in Scorpio, and 2007 was Jupiter in Sag. So we kind of did this soul deep dive into what we believe around our really deepest, true soul sacred self. And then we rise into the light, clean and renewed, to claim a new vision, to broaden our horizons and to expand the vision of what's possible for ourselves and Mother Earth. And it's all connected. And Shanta and I both really believe in supporting the individual so that we can do this group work together and amplify our power even further, which we've done for years now. And we're just so grateful to have you all here and to recognize the way the web of light is all around the world. And we are many, many points of light that come together at these special times of year. So any kind of ritual and ceremony or honoring a sacred time that you can get amongst all the other rituals and traditions that people get into around this time of year, a little bit goes a long way. You know, like we said, 5 or 10 minutes to yourself each day can do wonders. At the same time, we have just come through this sacred rhythm, and it does continue. And as we move into the new year and new ideas are being presented and we're ready to seize the day and seize opportunities, just remember to go at it from that new default setting, the new desire, the new goals, and to own it in a way that also honors, another something that Shanta brought up that is also validated by the energies and the planets, is our 7-year DNA sloughing off of our cells and the renewal of our cells in a real physical way. So the way I see this is we've had this purification and a shedding of skins of sorts through 2018 that's allowing us to rise and to seed a new vision that is going to anchor in 2020. And so we really don't have time for the distractions in so many ways this year. And I just wanted to touch on that Jupiter-Neptune contact because this Jupiter is the planet of our belief systems and our philosophies and what we believe to be true. And this is the year I'm going to give you permission to think as big and as expansive as possible, like no holds barred, you know, no limits. And you will hear me say this when it's a Sagittarius new moon, to just tell yourself that all the bills are paid, all the needs are filled, all of everybody in your life is well and happy and taken care of. What do you do with your time? What do you do with your energy? Where do you direct yourself? And where's the joy and passion in that direction? And we're awakening that in a whole new way, and we're looking for the opportunities in the new because the old is truly over. And so this year, Jupiter is expanding our consciousness in the biggest possible way during a time where Neptune spent 14 years in Pisces. So this is someplace that Neptune's already been stirring things up for us. But it's also a place where people who are not in their bodies and not in their right minds and are on pharmaceuticals and out of sorts in so many ways, disconnected in their technology, not in their physical bodies grounded on this earth, that is going to, let's say, zap their systems. It's going to aggravate it. It's almost like stirring a bee's nest, where everything was buzzing along with a rhythm and it's beautiful and they're doing their work, and then someone came along and hit the box, and then all of a sudden they go crazy. That energy is out there. So this is the other reason that I just encourage you to work on your boundaries and to be very clear about what you believe and what is true for you and where's the light. Not where's the doom and gloom and the destruction and what's dying and dead and gone and over and well, it'll never come back in the good old days and all that. That kind of holding on to the past is toxic now. It's dangerous. We don't want to do that. And there's so much magic available when Jupiter and Neptune get together, and I mean real magic. So then Shanta was also talking about how we're working with the polarities, uniting them to create a third thing. Well, that's alchemy. And we're all naturally wired for this kind of thing. This is what we do. A man and a woman come together to create a child. That third entity is a completely new entity. And so we can do that in our lives, and we can take out of the ashes of 2018 and really hang on to the nuggets of gold, those diamonds that came out of all the blasting we did, and what are the new perspectives that can come out of that. That leads us to our full moon 0 point thing as well. So I do want to touch on this a little bit. We've already started it. Last month we had the full moon at 0 Gemini. This month is 0 Cancer. It's going to do this at 0 Leo, 0 Virgo, and 0 Libra. And when it does the 0 Libra, we're going to have 2 Libra full moons at that time, which will be spring, sometime in Aries time. So what I'm vision here and what I'm feeling here and intuitively picking up is that we are resetting our mental body, our emotional body, our spiritual body, and our physical body, which leads us to the lunar flip and the Libra energy, where it's you, the individual, and the world or others or your family, loved ones, relationships, community. Libra is about that conscious equal partnership that we are cultivating going forward, because no man is an island. None of us can do this alone. And we also can't save the whole world alone. So we want to have this way of maintaining our individual systems and tapping into the group energy when we need it to replenish, like we do here 4 times a year is a wonderful time to replenish your light at every seasonal shift, and that's when it's most supported. But then you have these converging cycles and these full moons and new moons that work on us as individuals. I mean, our bodies, again, are so tied to the lunar rhythms. And now we have the Cancer-Capricorn lunation, and it's really all about the moon and Saturn, our physical body and our emotional body, our personal security, and how we move through the world. This is a time where we're still in the zone that the full moon precedes the new moon. So we want to really release any of that clinging to the past. Think in terms of like a cancer crab that will hold on and would rather lose a limb than let go. We don't want to do it that way anymore. That's done. The 0 point allows us this clean slate. And month by month by month in these personal signs makes it very personal and individual and gives us direct access. And while we're doing that with the moon on this month-to-month basis, bigger cycles are completing and finishing up and putting us in positions that, again, are very mystical and magical come springtime and next summer and next fall, that each season is going to expand your world and your story a little bit more. And one of the reasons that Shanta and I were saying that we've all been in some kind of sacred rhythm, especially here in our circles, because we have done back-to-back Anustan meditations. I did a whole storytelling thing that became way more sacred than I thought it was ever going to be. And then 7 journeys led into, and every thing led to the next thing. And so whatever it is that supports you in your day-to-day, if you have a chance to do any of these extra things, it gives it a boost. It infuses you and inspires you to that next level. And so this is a time where we're going to clean the slate on the Cancer domain is your emotions and your personal security and how you feel about things. Now, the idea is that your moods are your messengers. They're communicators. They are communicating something to you. If you are not honoring them or listening to those inner messages or those gut instincts, then things in reality do start to go haywire. If you're too focused outside of yourself and not honoring those inner hunches, things can go really haywire. So this is a time where again, it's such a brilliant seed time that a lot of these little things are going into our root of what we're creating and cultivating as we speak. And this full moon is tremendously potent. I just took a few quick notes, again, just kind of thinking and feeling into the energy while Shanta was doing her thing. And we are so brilliantly supported to nourish the soul, and we have this magical reset of the sacred feminine. So allowing the soul to lead. And the ego needs to follow. It will follow. If the soul is strong enough and you're trusting it enough, and again with that faith and really believing, unwavering faith this year, everybody, around for everyone. Let's just have a cup of that for everyone. We're honoring conscious equal partnership with all life and within ourselves, but it is really important to do that consciously. Up in the sky, Cancer, Capricorn, and Aries are all activated. Cancer is not technically activated until this full moon, which is also the wolf full moon, everyone, which I love because the wolf is part of my community totem. So we bring this conscious equal partnership in consciously. That means that when we're reworking our self-care and what nourishes us and supports and protects us with this Cancer full moon, everything's being lit up as to what that is for you, the individual. And as we're reworking the reality and different things that are happening in the Capricorn zone where everything's getting restructured because the old structures don't support anymore. So we're having to create new structures and new systems and new ways of doing things, and being brave about improvising and trying things and not being attached to outcome, because sometimes the first time doesn't work. It's okay. It's new. It's okay. Give yourself permission to work that out. And as the Aries energy, Uranus is finishing up there and moving into Taurus, where we're really going to get in our bodies in a lot of ways. But this means that this little piece is so supported for us to bring in the wisdom of partnering or collaborating or sharing in a way. Let's look at this as sharing the good things and sharing some of the burden so it's not so heavy on one person or one community. We also have this support that we've been working very hard on healing our boundaries and our own natural intuitive capacity. So learning that your wounds also carry the medicine that's required to heal them. And it's all about alignment and attunement. Another thing that Shanta brought up is validated in the stars. And Juno in Taurus gets us wedded to beauty. So we're definitely activating the beauty way. We're activating the miracles of 2019. We're expanding the vision as big as we possibly can, seeding it now at this season of dark and quiet and consulting with the council to find out the right direction for you, tying it to a larger story, because sometimes we can get bogged down in our little individual day-to-day and we feel like we can't make a difference or we can't be of any assistance or help, and that is not true. And this is when you absolutely want to tap into your prayers for the world, because that is, it is valuable and it makes a difference, and we can all feel it, and that's why we gather. But this dedication, this renewed dedication to Earth as the garden, as the mother, as the source of physical life. And as I said, by the second half of 2019, we're going to be more in our bodies in a lot of ways, and a lot of the Earth signs are going to be activated, helping us make things real and start to make things tangible going into 2020. So this dedication on the seed end to the beauty of the garden of your life that you're creating and cultivating, and it's one of the themes that Shanta and I have woven into everything we do, and it's just what we do. And what's beautiful about that deepened dedication that we have access to for during this time and for this first quarter of the year, it's going to be in an easy angle with the other earth signs. And the one that's missing would be Virgo, so we want to consciously bring that in, and that's about making the daily sacred in some way, your rhythm of however you have to. Everyone has to work and pay bills and do their thing in the world and function. How can we take some of the more mundane day-to-day things and make them sacred so that it lifts the vibration and infuses things with light and allows your soul to feel like it's co-creating and participating, because that's the biggest part, is your soul wants a vote. It wants to help. It wants to lead. And we need to be more literal with it in our bodies, making our bodies the temples and the sacred temples that they are, and honoring them for that. Now, this Cancer Capricorn lunation in particular, you guys, I just want to warn you, it has incoming Cancer Capricorn eclipses. so we're back to some cycles. We're coming out of the Leo Aquarius vibe, which was all about your unique contribution to the community. Now it's going to shift more to home and work, and how do you integrate that unique contribution and that expanded possibilities that's all coming up now into your everyday world and home and work and your rhythm. And so just knowing that this is the small seed time that is going to get activated as we go, month by month by month. And so there's a reset happening either at home or work or both for many of us. And so your self-care versus your obligations to others is what we're renewing the balance of at this time. And for the whole first quarter of the year, I really recommend it. And to recognize, again, that anything you expand, anything that you seed, anything that you believe is truly possible, and that you really have the fire and the passion of your heart in it and connected to it, this is the year to line things up that you can make very real and very tangible come 2020. And then what's happening in 2020, a lot of big planets and big cycles are rebooting. And so whatever we do anchor by 2020 will be with us for 7 to 30 years. So that's a big cycle to be seeding and planting at this time. And we are just deeply supported in so many ways. I also made a few notes, just kind of bigger picture, 2019, just to give you a heads up. Mercury's retrograde is going to be water and fire. So it's about our emotions and our spirits in 2019. So again, with that faith and inspiration and expanded thinking, and it's where we're going to get rewired. If our passion and our hearts aren't involved and we're not excited about it and we're not enthusiastic, if there's no juice, don't do it. That's the rule for 2019. If there's juice and there's life and there's vitality, do it. Go for it. Follow the vitality this year. And then we have the new life path, which is in Cancer, means that self-care is really supported. And again, the better you are with that individual maintenance, the stronger you can be when you go to the community to do other things or to help other people. And when we get to what I was saying earlier, how the challenge in the our faith and our belief systems and our spirituality and our connection to God and all that is up this year. So that's why miracles can seriously abound and will. I know they will. I've had these years. I've seen it before. And it really can be super miraculous. What's juicy is the very next year, remember I said Neptune stays in Pisces for 14 years. We've got quite a few more years left. We're past the halfway mark. We're about 7-8 years into it. But this year with Jupiter challenging it, what do you believe to be possible for, let's say, your magic or your connection to God or spirit, or how that works for you and how you learn to follow your intuition and understand how your body works. That spirit in a human form dynamic is very up and supported for, let's say, challenging it to grow and evolve. But then the very next year, when Jupiter gets into Capricorn, it's going to be in an opportunity angle with Neptune and Pisces. So that's when it just gets real. It just gets very literal in terms of your connection to spirit and how clear and obvious, and you won't have those doubting times as much anymore. There's things that we've been through in the last 1 to 10 years that is like an education, and we've earned it. There's earned wisdom that is about to be accessible. And the next year, Mercury's retrogrades are water and air, so it's not the fiery inspiration of 2019, but in 2020, we're going to again have to lighten up and stick to what's real. Kind of keep it real. We're going to work with what is and what we can anchor and ground at that time. So this is a snapshot of what's coming in a lot of ways. So this month, if we want to just break it down and come into this moment now, honoring the sacred season, honoring the blessing of a full moon, which is very rare when it all lines up like that. It's so beautiful. It's just a beautiful time to consider what kind of support you offer, what kind of support you need, how do you define quality nourishment and nutrient for your soul, for your body, for your spirit, for your mind. We need quality nutrient in the new year and a simplification of many things. There's a lot of non-essential that has been stripped away, and it's a beautiful thing. We have this time where we can revolve and dissolve, where we let go of things or they're going to circle back in. That's the other thing about this season. Anything you don't want to take with you into the new vision let's close it out this year in the next, 2 to 3 weeks. Assessing and renewing your sense of self-containment, sense of belonging, releasing the past, digesting and processing all that you've taken in. That's what this is. The eclipses are going to activate us for this, everyone. So anything that you've postponed, assimilating or processing, is going to come up this year and next to be dealt with. And it's all good, but just be prepared to take periodic timeouts that are kind of customized for everyone. And it just cleanse, renew, and revitalize your feeling nature. Let's clear the emotional channels so that we're sensing and feeling properly, so that those communicators are really working for us as individuals, because that's another thing. Honing our senses is a huge thing that will allow us to tap into that magic of the new year and ultimately allow us to build something that, like I said, can last. That can last 7+ years going forward is really big. And I think that's it, Shanta. Otherwise, we could go on and on. But we're going to expand with some fire. We're going to be inspired. We're going to connect to the vitality, and then we're going to build it, and they will come.
They will come. They are here.
They are here.
Yes.
We are here. That's it.
We are here.
All together now. Thank you, love. Thank you, everyone, and so glad to start this new year with you. Thank you, thank you.